Hello my royal lovelies and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I want to continue my conversation about Prince William, the Prince of Wales, meeting Donald Trump in private, of course President-elect Donald Trump I should say, of course at the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral yesterday. So a little bit of an update on President-elect Donald Trump, because yesterday I questioned what we should be calling him. What is the official term that we should be using for Donald Trump? Because I think this is only the second. Thank you, by the way, for all the comments, because some people did help enlighten me on this issue. So apparently he is the second president of all the presidential history that is returning for a second term where it's not consecutive. So this is where I think the confusion of what to address him has arisen from, because normally, obviously, if a president has two successive terms, they are president first name during that term, and then afterwards they are known as former president first name, and of course before their term they are president-elect first name. So it's a little bit different with President-elect Donald Trump, because he already was president, and of course former presidents are known as former president. So it's like, what do you call him? Well, I think we've worked out that the correct title is President-elect Donald Trump, and then after this term he'll be known as former president Donald Trump, unless anything happens that changes the constitution, because there has been talk, I've had my little ear to the ground, that perhaps President-elect Donald Trump, that's a mouthful, can I just call him President Trump? You know what I mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that is a little bit of a mouthful. Anyway, there is rumours going around that he might try and amend the constitution so that he can run for a third term. And of course that wouldn't just mean him, that would mean any person coming after him would have the opportunity to have 3 terms. I don't know how easy that would be to change the constitution. It has been done in the past, but not, I think, for a very long time. And I think the last time the constitution was amended, if my information is correct, was over something fairly minor compared to this, which would be a big change, big amendment, I should say, to the constitution. So time will tell on that one, whether or not he'll get the ball rolling on that quite early on. I imagine it would take quite a time to get through. So I imagine if that is part of his plan, he will do that fairly soon. Anyway, let's go back to the meeting with Prince William. So again, I want to follow up on what people are saying in the comments section, that of course we do not know what they spoke about in private. Now, William, the Prince of Wales, is becoming an expert statesman, and I think he showed great skill in diplomacy, because that's what it is. It's the game of diplomacy. It's that game of soft power. The monarchy is used as soft power in a democratic society. And someone also said the US is a republic, not a democracy. They are both interchangeable. You know, republics and countries like the UK that have a constitutional monarchy, we are both democratic societies. So when I said that the US is democratic, that's what I mean. I wasn't saying that it wasn't a republic. I was saying it's a democratic republic. That is, you have a form of democracy exactly the same that we do in the UK. And I think it's really important to recognise that we both live in democratic societies. We elect our governments, we elect our president or prime minister. But in the UK, we have a constitutional monarchy, which I think has several benefits, because with a politician, they are always vying for your vote. They are always trying to pander to the electorate. Everything is a game of politics. Whereas with a head of state that is a constitutional monarch, for example, unelected, hereditary, there isn't that pandering, there isn't that vying, you can take away that political element, or rather you should. Now, I'm not saying that people in the royal family in Britain do not get, there is a little bit of crossover when it comes to politics, but usually all the heavy politics is kept out of monarchy. And if monarchy does speak out on certain topics or things going on in the world, that will have been kind of broached with the government of the day. In the case of 2024, in our time that we're living in now, of course, that is the Labour government led by Sir Keir Starmer for the United Kingdom. Anyway, the point of this sort of revisiting the William and Donald Trump meeting is because there has been this extraordinary... well, it's not really extraordinary. It's just a bit silly, to be quite honest. Now, Donald Trump has claimed in the past to be 6'3" in height. But of course, we know Prince William's height, which I do believe is around about 6'2". No, he's 6'3". He's 191 centimetres. So that is 6'3". But when you look at the photo of them together, then President-elect Donald Trump is, a few inches shorter than Prince William. So there's either one thing going on. Either Prince William is wearing a pair of high-heel stilettos and and maybe has some risers in his shoes, and maybe Donald Trump doesn't, or someone's telling a few porcupines about their height. And there has been some other kind of evidence that perhaps Donald Trump has either maybe shrunken a little bit in height. Who knows? I mean, look, this is not a video hating on anyone for their height. I've recently had a measurement of my height, and let's just say I was a little bit surprised at the height. Maybe it's not quite as, maybe I'm not quite as tall as I've been pertaining to be. And let's just leave that there. My height will remain an enigma. But for everyone else, I want to perpetuate the myth that I am 5'10.5" if you measure from the top of my hair. Anyway, apparently Donald Trump has always claimed to be a towering 6'3". Ooh, if only I was 6'3". But his meeting with Prince William at the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris this weekend suggested a little shrinkage may have taken place. So they did obviously stand side by side, which I think revealed the height difference. So rumours have been swirling that the soon-to-be president, who served his first term in 2017, has relied on maybe some lifters or insoles that offer additional height, or maybe even a bigger heel, or maybe a combination of both, to give his stature a little bit of a boost. And of course, his youngest son towers, I think, over everybody. Where did those genes come from? Anyway, back in July, when President-elect Donald Trump was subjected to an attempt on his life at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, he did apparently seem to be a little bit preoccupied with his footwear in the immediate aftermath. He was heard saying, "Let me get my shoes." And of course that could be just because he wants a pair of shoes on his feet. Who doesn't? But that would maybe be the last thing on your mind when you've just had that happen to you. Now look, bottom line is, it's a silly story. No one actually really cares how tall Prince William is, or how tall Donald Trump is, or how tall Elon Musk is, or President Macron. It's what people have to say. It's what they do, their words, their deeds, their actions that really matter and count. And on the world stage, these are often played out publicly. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily get to see, but we always get a sense of what happened down the road because of what happens. And a lot of royal watching, a lot of politician watching, if you're really into politics, all comes about by waiting. You have to wait and see what happens. So again, this video mentioning Donald Trump, I completely realise that he is a divisive character. He's a little bit like what we call in the UK, we might describe someone as being a Marmite character. Marmite is this kind of, what is it? It's like it's a spread that you can spread on things, and it's got a taste that is quite hard to describe, but people either love it or they hate it. So in the UK, we say, people are a Marmite character. And I think Donald Trump is one of those characters. People either really love him and support him, or the opposite, and they really don't. There's not much in between. He's quite a polarizing figure. He's quite a divisive figure. And I think politics in the UK and the US is quite divisive. There isn't much middle ground. It's either one way or the other. I also think it is pertinent to mention that when Donald Trump was arrested that once, his height and weight were recorded, but there are discrepancies with that and other people that have been arrested and their heights and weights recorded. So those measurements do sort of throw doubt on the legitimacy of those results coming out at the time, even though they were officially recorded by the police. However, President Donald Trump was not measured or photographed with any kind of height chart in the background. This is not a video supporting or denouncing anybody. This is just talking about what we can see. It's the reality of what we can see. And I hope that people can appreciate that I'm not trying to, blow wind up someone's kilt, and sort of celebrate them as if they're some kind of god. And at the same time, I'm also not running someone down. I don't know why President-elect Donald Trump would have said he was 6'3" when he's not. That's not my business, but all we can see in front of us is the evidence that we know that Prince William is 6'2" or 6'3", and standing next to Donald Trump was shorter. So there's something going on. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Right, I'm moving on to the next story. This is about Prince William today making a cheeky quip to a chef as he serves Christmas dinner at a homelessness charity. Now, as we know, his late mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, took a keen interest. One of her keen charity work was against homelessness, and she famously took both Princes William and Harry to experience what it was like at homeless shelters. So Prince William has taken up that mantle and has dedicated a lot of his life's work to combating homelessness. And he's spoken out most recently about wanting to end homelessness for all. And this is what I mean about politics kind of crossing over into royal work. Prince William is not involving himself in politics, but this is a political matter, because it's only with politics, through politics, that can actually really end and tackle homelessness. So by raising awareness of homelessness, that can put pressure on politicians, and maybe he might meet politicians in private and have conversations, and he can give them feedback from the things that he sees on the ground when he's visiting homelessness charities and food banks and all the rest of it. So it's this sort of soft power, and there is a little bit of crossover, but when it comes to these kind of key issues like landmines with Princess Diana, with all sorts of different issues, politics does need to be involved a little bit. Anyway, I digress slightly. So Prince William has shared a video of his visit to a homeless charity last week, where he helped serve up a festive lunch to those in need. Again, a very noble thing to do, especially when you come from great privilege and wealth, to really have an understanding that not everyone is as privileged as you. And some people might see someone who has such great privilege and wealth and position serving or working with people that are homeless as something negative. But I actually think it shows that someone as high up as royalty, as high up as one day going to be king, actually cares about causes and cares about people. Anyway, it depends how you want to interpret it. But William was in a playful mood during his lunchtime shift at the Passage charity in London on Thursday. As I said, he first visited the charity with his late mother, and last week was on jovial form, teasing the head chef in charge about her birthday, posting on their Instagram account. William wrote, "A sincere thank you to all at the Passage volunteers working tirelessly to support those experiencing homelessness, especially during the festive season." He added, "Acts of kindness like serving Christmas lunches brings hope and fosters a sense of community for those who need it most." And this video clip accompanying the post shows Prince William embracing head chef Claudette Hawkins. As he moves in for a hug, he's heard saying, "Come on, birthday girl, happy birthday." As the pair continue their embrace, he quips, "I won't ask you what birthday it is," to which the head chef dissolves into laughter. Yes, it's always rude to ask a lady or anybody what birth year it is. And I, again, just like the height, I am going to perpetuate the myth that I am 25. Anyway, it's been obviously a busy week and for Prince William, Notre Dame, obviously last week the homelessness charity visit at the Passage, and of course the Together at Christmas, Catherine's Christmas concert at Westminster Abbey recording of. So it's been a busy old week, and I can't wait to get to actually see the Together at Christmas on Christmas Eve. Anyway, Leo, a person who benefits from the charity, got in touch with the media because he wanted to thank William from the bottom of his heart for what he did. Leo said, "When you are homeless, you fall to the edge of society quickly, and it's scary how you can become invisible. We become street furniture. You aren't seen as a person. When you have someone at the top of the game coming down and talking to someone at the bottom, not for a photo opportunity, just because they care, well, it means a lot," which is exactly what I said and tried to explain earlier, but I think Leo said it far better than me. He continues, "There had been whispers that the prince might come to the annual Christmas lunch for the Passage, but he said the royal arrived without any fanfare, walking quietly through a side gate at around 1:30, and many didn't realise he was there until he started serving." So incredibly low-key, no fanfare, which can be compared to counterparts, well, not even counterparts these days, that's a stretch too far, overseas. Anyway, the Passage canteen can be quite hostile environment sometimes, says Leo. There are a lot of people with mental health issues or who don't speak any English and get frustrated. It's quite hard in a small space, but the way he dealt with it all when he came in was amazing. He was so kind and so polite and spoke to everyone and posed for selfies. When I spoke to him, I was so overwhelmed I accidentally swore, and he put his ear to my mouth and whispered, "Don't worry, my language is terrible." Oh, I'd love to see William on a bad language tirade, wouldn't you? Anyway, Leo said he told William he wore his favourite Spice Girls t-shirt for him as he had met Victoria Beckham at the state banquet the other day, which made him laugh. On a side note about David and Victoria Beckham, David Beckham is so after a knighthood, isn't he? Anyway, it's quite painful to see. And also, I've been listening to the Spice Girls quite recently as well. Anyway, he said he chatted to everyone and told them Merry Christmas and to look after them and stay safe. People just walked up and chatted to him and he was absolutely fine. People were calling him William and he had no airs and graces. He's got a power to him. A bomb could have gone off in the corner and he wouldn't have noticed. He just looked you in the eye and you had his full attention. He listened and was really respectful. He really meant it. There were police there, but not really on duty. They weren't marshalling everyone. It was very relaxed. Prince William was serving up the food. They put him on boring vegetables, and I'm sure they did that so we all ate our vegetables. So again, very, very valuable and worthwhile, low key, no fanfare, no fuss work by Prince William. Dedication to country, really. And I think it speaks volumes that he's doing this without such fanfare. Right, thank you for listening to this video. If you have enjoyed it, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and of course, do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all my lovies, and goodbye.